So if you look at most magazine covers, I shot about 33 covers for The Source. Probably 2/3 of them were on location. I don't really like to be inside unless I need to be inside. For the most part, I like to do it out in the streets. So I like to really move through the streets. Like, it's still where I get all my energy and fuel from. It's the streets, and it'll always be. You know, and if I spend too much time in the office, I feel like I lose a touch, you know, a feel for the ground. You know, and that's what New York is about, man. Anybody that's in New York and doesn't get outdoors, like, they're not really in New York. Nah, that's not what it is.
My shit is just about me, yo. It's like an autobiography of myself, you know what I'm saying? You can take it any way you want. You can take it as you want to be like me, or you can take it as you want to stay away from what I was doing, you know what I'm saying? It's all on you. Everybody got their own mind, you know what I'm saying? Go to your parents for messages, you know what I'm saying? Come to me for good music. If you want some head and some liquor, I'm the nigga to turn to.
He had an apartment in Brooklyn. So I went to his apartment. He's asleep. I was like, Big, I'm gonna do this shoot. I had a location vehicle, everything outside. He was like, oh, gee, I'm out of it. You know, I'm tired. I've been on the road, on tour. I can't really do it today. And I looked at him and I said, all right, no problem. We'll cancel it, we'll reschedule it. That's what a lot of artists liked about me, is that I moved like I was one of them, so I understood. I didn't move like the record label or someone who's always on deadline. We scheduled for another day, so we went out to Liberty State Park in Jersey City, stood him up there. I knocked it out pretty fast, gave him £1, took a car right to the airport, flew out to LA to shoot Snoop, like same night. You know, so it was just kind of, it was a funny day, but, you know, a lot of real important things came out of that day, you know what I mean? I've known Biggie for a pretty long time. I knew him before he was signed to Bad Boy, because he was, Biggie won Unsigned Hype at The Source. You know Unsigned Hype? So Biggie and I were always cool, because like I took his Unsigned Hype photo, like I'd been to his place out in Brooklyn, so, I mean, that's how the hip hop space was back then. You really got to know people, you know? So Big was my man. So once I saw him like moving up the ranks, it was a good feeling, you know? My style in shooting has always been actual, as you are. You know, like that Tupac picture that you see him with the tying his bandana. The reason he doesn't have a shirt on in that photograph is when he came to my photo shoot, he had like a plaid shirt on that wasn't really cool looking. So I said to him, I was like, all right, why don't you just take it off? Because we didn't have a stylist. I was like, just take it off, we'll do it without a shirt. And he's like, no problem. You know, and since he did that, now we have these timeless images of this icon without a shirt that dates it. You know, since there's no shirt on, it just looks like a regular guy tying his bandana. That picture could have been done yesterday, you know, and that's part of what helps it to live so long, you know. So you definitely wanna be careful, because when you over stylize things, it dates it, you know. And if you look at most of my photographs, the reason why they still live today is because I simplify. You know, there's not such a strong signature in it that, oh, I've seen that before. I'm like, I'll actually leave the whole crew and walk off with the artist one-on-one. You know, I'll separate, I won't go in location vehicles. Like, I'm like, let's go, let's keep this real. I'll go with the artist to a barbershop. You know, like that's how I want to go to your neighborhood. I want to go to your grandmother's house. I want to go to your mother's house. I want to get to know you. You know, that's my style of photography. So it was actually a great time to be working in this space. And we weren't really working in it trying to achieve anything. We were working in it because we loved it. You know? And I was a classically trained photographer, so I love photography. You know, and I took it very seriously, so I consider myself a documentarian. So my mission was to document and record this thing and capture it for all time. So, I mean, it's quite a responsibility, but it's an important one. So now that a lot of these people are gone, they still remain, because they remain in the photographs. And photographs and music, they complement, but they're really two different things. You know, photography can be an image that's sometimes even louder than the sound that they make. So when you look at some of the iconic pictures of the Tupacs and things that I shot over the years, I mean, people don't even know his music, know those photographs. And that's the power of pictures.